Happy Halloween, mother... Yo! What's up, everybody? Brian and Brennen here for Too Much Fantasy Football. This is the start-sit show for Week 9, the first 7 games here on the Fantasy Football Advice Network. Happy Halloween to everybody that's out there celebrating, running around in costumes, causing shenanigans, filling yourselves with cavities. I know this guy is.
Yeah, I love me some good Reese's. Some good Reese's always smacks.
All right, so let me ask you then real quick. Where are you on the candy corn saga? Are you pro or are you against?
I'm like in the middle. Like I'll eat one, but I think like if I can't eat more than like 4. I think that's like too much.
All
A
right.
couple
I
fine.
really would have pegged you with the strong candy corn or shit take. Like, I just would have pegged you as that one of those people.
No, because like honestly, like I used to eat candy corn in like elementary school, and like I just think now if I eat it, I'll like, oh, it's okay. I don't think I could have more than like a couple though.
I gotcha. Yeah, I'm never going, like, after it, but if I'm offered candy corn, hell yeah, I'll crush a handful or two.
The candy that's changed for me drastically was Sour Punch straws. I used to love them. Now I can't like even. It just tastes awful now to me.
Interesting. Yeah, I was never
Yeah.
big on... I love sour candy, Sour Patch Kids, but yeah, the punch straws, I always remember
Sours
being...
are still my favorite, but like you can't ever like find them. You have to like order them online.
Yeah. Yeah, Sour Patch Kids, they're totally different from what they are. You can now eat a whole bag in a sitting and your mouth's not raw. Like, they've completely changed the recipe. You can't tell me that's not true.
I don't know. I mean, I've had them before. I guess I don't endower in them like you. I guess so.
Hey, look, I sneak into 7-Eleven before I go to the movie theaters. I'm always loading my pockets full of snacks.
10-figure discount or what?
Oh, no, I'm staking them. I'm just not paying them the movie theater prices here. You know, I'm paying the 7-Eleven prices and sneaking them in.
No, okay.
Hell yeah. I used to take Jimmy John's in the movie theater. You take a sweatshirt, you just shove it right there in the big pocket in the front.
You are weird.
I like snacks when I watch movies, all right?
Snacks is not a sandwich.
Debatable.
That no one has ever said, "Yeah, let me have a snack." A BLT is a snack.
I mean, maybe one is. 2 or 3, sure. That's probably a meal. But yeah, one BLT, no way. That's a snack right there.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, and you try to claim yourselves as the fat kid on the pod. No, this is the fat kid on the pod right here.
Yeah, no kidding, dude. Jesus, I wish I had your metabolism. God damn.
I used to call CC's ahead of times back in high school when me and buddies would go so they'd get ready.
What the fuck, dude?
Dude, 50 slices. 50 slices, man. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Adam, what's his name? Adam Richmond?
Yeah.
This is what I thought my job was going to be growing up. I wanted to be man versus food.
I still love watching that show.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. You talk about overindulging yourself in food.
Yeah.
It's the American way. You know what else is the American way? Football on Halloween, folks. We've got the Jets 6-2 going. No, I'm sorry. The Texans 6-2 going to the 2-6 Jets. 42-point over under. The Jets are favored by 2 here in this game. I think you can say it here. When in doubt, we're gonna Thursday out of like, just I don't want to play these guys.
There's some that like intrigue me, but we'll start with the Texans side because I think the Jet side's pretty self-explanatory for the most part. Are you starting CJ Stroud this week?
I'm okay not. I love the when in doubt Thursday out now. Like it's now like my wife's favorite mantra now. Like kicked her in the ass a few weeks ago when she forgot to play Javonte Williams. But for the most part, you know, we kind of stray away a little bit. CJ Stroud, I don't think he's a force in your lineup anyway, most games this year. So if you're able to pivot, I'm okay pivoting away from him.
Him or Geno?
Oh, if DK's back, I like Geno, but you probably won't know that ahead of time. They play the Rams. Yeah, I'd roll the
Yep.
dice with Geno.
Caleb Williams.
I think I like Caleb against the Cardinals. The Cardinals are hit or miss, just like the Commanders. They hit or miss whether or not you can throw on them. But give me Caleb Williams.
All right, and then the last one I'll probably say is let's go Kirk Cousins.
You know, they play the Cowboys, and Kirk's been hit or miss in some of these games. I feel like this is a game he could disappoint in. So I'm
Okay.
okay if you want to go CJ Stroud, but me personally, I've been all Falcons this year, so I'd probably go Kirk.
I was trying to think of guys that like people probably own with owning CJ Stroud like as a possibility. So I think that's.
Are you taking any of them over CJ?
I think I think Caleb's probably I think Caleb is a better, just because Arizona's secondary is really, really bad. So,
I feel you. Joe
um,
Mixon, that one's a pretty easy start.
it's slam dunk. I mean, he's been amazing. He's been RB1 every single game he's played all the way through, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think top 5 or top 6 RB2 in those games.
crazy. Tank Dell, I think you kind of have a choice, honestly, with all the wide receivers hurt.
He's going to be he is going to be the number one in this game. Yeah, we might be seeing Nico Collins come back next week, but this game, rough defense. Sauce Gardner's on the other side. I still think you're playing Tank Dell. You're playing him as a fringe 2-3 this week. I mean, you don't get many guys that are the focal point on the offense where you go away from.
I'm okay with starting Dalton Schultz this week at tight end.
I don't mind it. Kind of just with the Thursday game, I don't mind kind of fading it anyway, just kind of going elsewhere. After this past week, 17 touchdowns to the position. There's guys that get the blood flowing a little bit more than Dalton Schultz does. Nothing sexy.
Yeah. Jet side's pretty simple. It's Brees, it's Devontae, it's Garrett Wilson, and I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else.
Conklin and a high enough scoring game. I don't mind if you go that direction, but this game doesn't seem to be that, and I'm okay pivoting.
Out of the Texans wide receivers, besides Tank Dell, who do you think gets the most run? Woods, Hutchinson, or Mechie, if you had to pick one?
I wouldn't be surprised if Robert Woods was second in targets, but I think somebody who's going to, it's going to be Hutchinson that has the better chance of doing something with it.
That's my vote, too.
Woods sees, a little bit more. Who wins this game?
I have the Texans.
Yeah. I mean,
I can't bet on the
Jets win another game this year.
I mean, I think they win another game, but I can't. I think the Texans defense is legit. I mean, I just don't see it happening right now.
I'm right there with you. I don't mind this game kind of being close. As we saw, the over-under was 2 points. I can see the Jets keeping it competitive, but yeah, I think the Texans are going to pull this one out.
Yeah.
Alrighty, next game we've got, put the timer on the clock. Cowboys at the Falcons. Cowboys are 3-4, Falcons 5-3. 52-point over/under. Atlanta's favored by 2.5 in this game. Dak Prescott, let's get him ready. I think he's got a nice stretch coming up here. I'm okay playing him in this game.
Okay. I don't necessarily hate it. I think this team is definitely going to rely on him throwing the football. I don't mind.
The game's not going to work.
Well, Dalvin Cook was clearly ready to go against San Francisco. Yeah, Rico Dowdle's back. I actually like him in the flex spot for most teams. He when he plays, he's pretty decent. C for sure, you're firing him up, and then I mean Jalen Tolbert. Are you considering a flex? Or are you?
I don't know in this game. I'm considering adding him just because the matchups going forward, you're going to kind of see what you saw out of what's his name last year, Brandon Cooks. Probably 5 touchdowns out of 7-ish games. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that, but I still don't think he's going to give you anything elite. Kind of just maybe fringing on wide receiver 2 numbers. This game, I really don't see myself trying to force him into my lineups.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat here. And then Jake Ferguson, I mean, he's in your lineup.
Yeah. The only guy that disappointed last week.
I know. So bad. Falcon side, we talked about it, Kirk Cousins. I mean, I'm okay if it's really what you have, if that's your options. I mean, what's the over-under in this game? It's got to be 47?
52.
Oh, wow. Yeah, definitely starting him then. I think it's a very healthy over-under. I think Bijan, obviously, Drake London. And then it starts to get a little more the dicey parts. Darnell Mooney, I mean, are you considering that, or are you pivoting elsewhere?
No, I'll flex Mooney. Like we said, a 52-point over/under. We're going to have some points. I'm playing Mooney before I'm playing Tolbert on the other side.
I agree with that one. I'm in the same boat with that one. I think Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts, you can't pull Kyle Pitts out. I'm not saying he's a stud. He's sadly producing on less targets than I'd like to see. 5 targets, 9 targets the week before, but then 5 only then. So it's not quite what I want to see, but how far he's catching these balls down the field are really saving his day. 91, 65, 70, 88 yards over the last 4 weeks. Only the 2 touchdowns he had last week, but we're getting it done. So if we can get a little touchdown regression here, if he can finish with maybe 7-ish touchdowns, I think he's going to be a fine top 5 finish.
Is this where we see CD start to track back to being the top guy? Or we saw it last week in San Francisco. Is this where the trends back in that same direction?
Freaking better. He's only had one other game in half PPR where he's broke 20 points. I need some elite play from CD. That's
Yeah.
why he was in contention for the number one overall pick in, single quarterback leagues. CD, dude, you got to blow up, buddy. I know you're doing everything you can, but let's launch that rocket.
Yeah.
Who's winning this game for you?
I'm gonna go Cowboys.
Damn it. I was thinking
Yeah.
it too.
I was
Oh.
I feel like this is a letdown spot. The Falcons, they just beat Tampa. Cowboys fell short against San Francisco. Like, I just feel like it's a bounce back game for them.
Yeah, it feels great for the Cowboys kind of bouncing back a little bit. And yeah, Atlanta, they've disappointed. And I mean, they're 5-3. The three games they lost, I think two of them they really shouldn't have. So
Yeah.
I see, what is it, 2.5 points. That's a small spread, but I definitely have the Cowboys covering that spread. I think it's going to be, one score game pretty close there.
It's gonna come down to who has the ball last.
Yeah, one of those, or who throws the final pick.
Yeah.
Both these guys, they're great at just ending a game on an interception. So.
Yeah. That's true.
Next game up. Let's get that timer going. We got the 5-3 Broncos at the 5-3 Ravens. Would have never thought that this is the freaking records of these two teams. 45.5 point over under. Baltimore's favored by 9.5. Brought in Deontay Johnson in a trade for a washing machine and a half, I think is what they got. I think it's the parts for a future washing machine, but really nothing was
Supplying the vending machines for a year.
Quarterbacks here. Obviously, Lamar's being started, but Bo Nix.
I mean, the Ravens defense has not been what it's, what we've known growing up as like this elite defense, always shutting down teams. They've been definitely letting teams throw the ball on them. I know like Humphreys is hurt and another rookie, Nate Wiggins is hurt. Like, I don't know. Are they trending towards playing this game? Like,
You know what?
regardless,
Most of us give very little craps about defensive players. Their up to date stuff is not even like the last thing I'm seeing is 3 and 5 days ago on defensive players. So, still a little bit open on whether or not they're going to be playing. But either way, like Baltimore's been averaging 70 yards on top of a team's average passing yards. So, like, that's just an extra 3 points right there, just on top of that. So, it's hard to say Bo Nix can light him up, but yeah, Baltimore, you can beat him on the outside as far as receivers. So, Troy Franklin, Cortland Sutton,
no.
do they? I mean, not that we're looking necessarily to play them, but do they give Bo Nix opportunities to turn out a top end quarterback play?
I think Bo Nix's legs is what turns him out to a top end play. I don't think it's necessarily the players because like he really hasn't had like that guaranteed guy. He's always been someone random. Hasn't been the same consistent player every week in, week out. So I'm actually trending towards this not being a good game for Denver. Like the spread says it itself. They're 9.5 point underdogs. Like I do think the Broncos have played very favorable matchups for them for the most part. Like,
For sure.
and I think the Ravens had a really bad loss to the Browns. The Broncos just had a really good win. I see this trending towards the Ravens having a good game for themselves, and regardless, Bo Nix is a rookie, and I think he'll struggle in this game.
Yeah, last 4 weeks, Bo Nix has been QB2, 18, 9, and 8. In that time, though, it's been the Raiders, the Chargers, New Orleans, and Carolina. So obviously, yeah, you can beat these teams. Bo Nix, he's kind of just outside of that fringe QB1, QB2, maybe closer to like a middling QB2 for me this week.
Are you starting
Derrick
Deontay
Henry,
Johnson? Sorry.
Deontay Johnson. I don't want to. We've seen these midweek transition guys. Devontae Adams didn't transition well. Hopkins didn't transition well. Cooper got a touchdown in his first week, but then week 2 we saw him kind of do nothing. So I'm okay letting him sit. Usually in these game scripts, when Ravens are favored by this many points, it's Derrick Henry and it's Lamar Jackson. You don't want to touch much else. So I'm okay playing Flowers and Johnson
Mark
in the flex
Andrews?
position. Mark Andrews, I'm putting out there again.
Okay.
I didn't waver at the beginning of the year. I got to ride with it.
All right.
What about you playing Andrews?
Yes.
Still playing Andrews. That's right. On the other side, I mean, really, there's nothing else to be played except Javonte Williams. Are you flexing him against this rough defense?
Yes.
Defense?
Yeah. He's kind of like in a pickle here with most teams, so we'll
Yeah,
see if some
it
other
kind of
other healthy
depends.
options.
For sure, yeah. If you're fortunate enough where he's an RB3 for you or an RB4, you might be able to get away with not having to play him this week. But most likely, he might have to find your lineup. Who do you have winning?
I have the Ravens.
Yeah, that's kind of self-explanatory. Let's go Ravens. All right, 2-5 Dolphins go up to Buffalo to play the 6-2 Bills. This is a 49.5 point over under. Yes, 6 point favorites are the Bills. I mean this is a good start 'em up game right here. Josh Allen, you're starting for sure, but Tua, where does he fall on your list?
You're starting him. You can start him this game. I
You're
think this
starting
is
him above Bo Nix.
yeah. I'd start him above Bo Nix.
What about Joe Flacco?
Yeah, I'd start him above Flacco too.
Yeah, I've got both of those guys actually back to back. Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston's just fun. It's a really hard time to sit there and be like, yeah, I'm going to start Jameis Winston in a single quarterback league. Like, I have a really hard time doing it to myself.
Yeah, I had to pick up Jameis and Joe Flacco last night in a Superflex redraft league. I went after both of them, and I ended up getting them both. I didn't want them both. So I'm out of fab now. I'm out of fab.
Not a bad thing, though. They're both going to be starting for the rest of the year, so.
That's kind of the nice thing. I'm about to trade one of them to get some fab back, but it's better than not having any.
Yeah.
Running backs here, Achane, Cook are pretty easy starts, but Mostert, I think, is where most people have a question. You willing to roll him out there?
He had, like, what, a touchdown last week? And, like,
Yeah.
very little work, though. It was, like, how many carries did he have? It was, like.
Last week, Raheem Mostert had 9 carries, 19 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I think he had, like, I mean, he seems to be the goal line back. Like, if you're really going to bank on that, kudos to you. I don't know if I want to.
I mean, he's the only guy over 200 pounds, so it makes sense that he would be the goal line back.
Yeah.
It's rough.
I'll probably say no. I'll probably stay away from it. It seems so inefficient. Tyreek's in your lineup. What about Waddle? Are you?
I'm willing to put out Waddle. He has kind of a wide receiver 3 flex play.
Yeah.
Jonnu
Bill's
Smith,
side.
Dalton Kincaid as far as tight ends. I'm playing Kincaid, Jonnu Smith, even
No,
though
I'm not
he
playing
did have
Jonnu
a.
Smith.
So I was ready to just jump ship and move away after Tua came back, but last week he still got involved. So I'm still not at that point where I'm starting him, but in deeper leagues I'm eyeballing. I want to see how this develops because I was excited preseason for Jonnu Smith down there.
Yeah, I'm not like super stoked on it. I just think it's not worth monitoring. The Bills side though, like, is Keon Coleman the one now?
I don't think so. I mean, what about Khalil Shakir? Let's talk about how this guy's dropped, what, 2 passes all season? No, he's dropped 1 pass all season.
Yeah.
He had 10 targets, 9 catches, 107 yards. I mean, Amari Cooper, like, we're seeing him get more and more involved as far as the snaps go. He moved up to 50% last week, 35 the week before. I just don't see Keon Coleman being the guy. Why would you trade for Cooper?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still the end of the day. This team is very much spraying the ball out. I think they're over the whole like Stefan's the one. Now they're spreading this offense around, so and it's working for them. So
Yeah, Joe Brady kind of proved starting last year that like he has no intention on hyper focusing anybody.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. Keon Coleman last 2 weeks though, 7 targets, 5 catches, 4 catches, 70 yards, 125 yards, and then of course the touchdown last week to go with the 70 yards. I mean, wide receiver 13 back-to-back against Miami. We're still not 100% sure how their defense operates because we've got, what, 2.5 games to go off of with Tua?
mhm.
I don't know. I'm willing to throw him out there as a flex just because you can't ignore what he's been doing, but it's not a confident start.
Who wins?
I want to say Miami, but obviously safe side says Buffalo here.
I'm gonna go with the upset. I'm gonna go with Miami.
6 points spread. Oh, yeah, I like them to cover, but I think I'm going to go Bills.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a little too cute with all my upsets this week. Next game we've got the 2-6 Saints taking on the 1-7 Panthers. Woohoo.
You can move the
43
banner down. One more banner.
You said what?
You're on the AFC East matchup. There you go.
There we go. Battle of the bottom. It's like me and my wife for sex. 2-6 Saints, 1-7 Panthers, 43.5 point over under. New Orleans is favored by 7.
Things I don't ever want to know about Brian's life. Noted.
Come on, it was.
It was set up for you perfectly, and you took it. You took it home, all right. That's the only thing you're taking, I guess, too.
Carr's back for this game? Question mark. It looks like Andy Dalton's back for this game?
he's-
Question mark.
I think Carr's back. The spread says very much so. Like, I think they're what? Oh, they're away and they're favored by 7 points,
That's bad.
right?
That's
Yeah.
bad.
We'll start with the Saints side. I mean, Chris Olave. I mean, he's not leaving your lineup unless you have some really really solid options. Um, he's still a really safe option for me, in my opinion.
Yeah,
And then
8
Alvin
catches,
Kamara.
14 targets, 107 yards last week. That's what we drafted him for.
Yep. And then Alvin Kamara, and that's really it on the Saints side.
Taysom Hill. I'm willing to roll Taysom Hill out there. He's coming back from injury. Like this game, it's 7-point favorites. You can run on the Panthers, and if you can get a tight end that runs the ball, I don't mind it. I don't mind
Yeah.
it.
I mean, I
If you,
just think it's a really I think that's more of like if you're down in projections, I think that's a good like pivot option too.
yeah, or like Kittle's on bye this week. If you're the Kittle owner, you probably don't own 2 tight ends. You probably haven't been looking to pick up Kraft and some of these other players. So if your waiver wire's pretty bare, I don't mind rolling the dice on Taysom Hill.
Yeah, it makes sense.
The other
Panther
side.
side, does Jonathan Brooks suit up for this game? That's my question.
I kind of hope not, if we're being honest. Like, just leave it to Chuba Hubbard because then we can still play Chuba Hubbard at least. Saints have been absolutely horrific against the running backs, but if Jonathan Brooks plays, I don't want to play him.
He
Uh,
has to play this week, right? It's a 21-day window. This is the third week of it, so he has to be activated or else he's done for the year, right? I think
I
that's how
don't
it
know
works.
exactly which day, so they might be able to activate him after. Oh yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
I
I'll
want
look
to
at it real
say it's
quick.
like I think it's either I thought like I mean regardless next week he's not activated he's done but like I think he'll be activated this week. He was limited all last week. I think there's a good chance of him playing.
And what's rough is they've got their bye in week 11, and then Kansas City in week 12. So if you really get a chance, it may not be till week 13 that you get an opportunity to play him. And I mean, other than that, his
Yeah,
his
all those
playoffs look
guys who
great.
draft him and redraft is it's a real rough hold on the IR. Xavier Leggett is he the only one? Is
Yeah,
he it?
Leggett, I'm all about riding dollar bill into my flex range. Would you play Keon Coleman or Leggett?
Oh, I I'd say I think Coleman. I think I'd take Coleman.
I don't mind either way. I'm trying to look at my rankings, but I kind of see both of those players as touchdown upside. Leggett's got a touchdown in 3 of his last 5. Um, so yeah, I'm okay playing it. I like him on my bench, that's for sure. I
Hmm.
definitely like adding him there because if Andy Dalton's still the quarterback the rest of the season, it might be pretty decent. Alrighty, we got the Raiders at the Bengals. 2-6 Raiders take on the 3. Oh wait, who wins that game? Panthers.
Saints. I was like, I'm not being cute on that one.
Not with me on that one. Alrighty. 2-6 Raiders go to the 3-5 Bengals. 46 over under. Cincinnati's favored by 7.5. Bengals side's pretty easy. I mean, Joe Burrow,
Yep.
Chase Brown.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, it looks like it's not Zach Boss anymore.
Yeah, this matchup too, like I'm a little less hesitant to not play one of these guys just because of the matchup. So I'm okay playing Chase Brown. Jamar Chase, T Higgins. Is T Higgins? How's your practice report going, buddy? Day to day. Gotta love that. 2 days ago.
Yeah. I mean, that's really about it. I mean, what's the split carries for the last week for Brown and Zach Moss? I know Eagles have a really good run D, so that might have scripted the game out of it. But like, has Brown been the more? Has he been the guy been going out there more?
So as far as snap percentage, it's been leaning Moss, but as far as rush shares, it has been Brown. Moss
Okay.
got 5 carries last week. Chase Brown got 12 carries, and then Chase Brown had 4 targets. While Zach Moss, he also had 4 targets. So uh,
Yeah,
it's kind of
Zach
hard
Moss
because
will be the third down back just because he's a really good pass blocking. So Chase Brown always will be hindered by that, though.
which is kind of why you see him eating more into the snap share. He's out there for some of those more valuable to the team touch or like role. But as
Hmm.
far as to your fantasy team, it's Chase Brown's the one that you want as far as getting the most opportunity. So he's the one I lean towards today or this week, but also long term as well.
Hmm.
All right, so Brock Bowers on the other side.
Yeah.
Uh, I think Alexander Madison's a guy that we're just reluctantly like we're starting him. You're not happy about it. It's not pretty. It's not sexy, but 19 opportunities, 5 through the air last week. It's not bad.
So gross. God,
It's
I wish
gross.
some year would have been something like so bad. The dude just runs straight into the back of his offensive line. It's crazy. It's a heat-seeking missile just towards the back of his offensive lineman.
Yeah, it's not a sexy play this week, but I think it's one you can do. He goes into a bye after this, so if he gets dropped, he might be somebody I'm speculatively adding the week after, just because the playoffs: Atlanta, Jacksonville, New Orleans. It's not bad, especially the final two. If you have the ability to play Madison in your championship lineup, that's scary for me.
Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, I guess volume alone.
There's
Seven
like who
targets
else is
last
behind it? It's like
week.
what Trey Tucker, and that's really it.
DJ, what's his name? DJ Turner.
Yeah, I think it's just Jacoby Myers, really.
Yep, him, and then of course Brock Bowers, steady
Yeah,
Eddie down there, tried and true. Of course, he didn't pull a touchdown last week. He was like borderline disappointment last week too, like crazy.
yeah.
Until you realize who his quarterback is.
Mm.
Who wins this game?
Bengals, and I think they cover the spread. I think they have a blowout game.
Bengals, yeah, 7.5 points. I think they get that taken care of. Alrighty, folks. Last game on the slate. Let's get it knocked out here. The Chargers at the Browns. 4-3 Chargers, 2-6 Browns. On a winning streak, may I add. The Browns are 42-point over under. Chargers favored by 2. Why do you think that? Oh, Jameis Winston is at the helm, of course. Chargers don't stand a chance. Are you starting either one of these quarterbacks though in a single quarterback format?
No, I can't. I just like I get it. Like Justin Herbert had the 2 touchdown game to Lad, but I think the Browns defense is legit, and I think the Chargers defense is also really good on that other side too. So I'm going to say no.
Yeah, it's almost like Cleveland has something to play for. Almost like they're competitive now all of a sudden.
Crazy. Who would have thought? Changing a quarterback who we all said and we knew that was bad.
Right. Running backs, J.K. Dobbins is the easy start here.
Yeah.
Nick Chubb on the other side. A nice floor play for you, it seems like. 16 carries, 52 yards last week. Chargers, not a lot of points, not a lot of ball movement here. But Nick Chubb is now the only running back to have run 50 yards on the Ravens.
Woo! Like, Browns, are you starting Cedric Tillman? Is he now a start for you?
Probably not. Man.
I kind of want to say, yeah. I mean, James is going to sling it. He's going to throw the ball. Like,
I guess I almost see him almost like game script because it's not like he ran away. Granted, I think he was like 27% of the target share, but Jerry Jeudy saw 8 targets, and then Elijah Moore also saw 12 targets. So I don't know. Like this game script doesn't feel like a Tillman. Like if he can break one loose, get away from the coverage, go down there, I see Jameis being able to hook up with him. But I feel like you're banking on that big playability, whereas somebody like Judy or Elijah Moore might give you something a little bit more steady as far as just PPR points, racking up targets.
okay.
It's not a. I guess it's a low end wide receiver 3 play for me.
All right. Charger side, is Lad the only one that's going to be started for you for the
Only one for
receivers?
me. Are you a QJ guy?
No, I'm not. I have stopped being QJ guy a long time ago.
Are you playing Lad over all these Browns wide receivers?
That's tough. I think no. I think I'd start. I think I'd start like Judy or Tillman over him. I do this Browns defense is legit, and I don't think people understand that. Like they actually have a good defense, and they will script guys out of the game. So
I don't necessarily think the Chargers need him. They
yeah,
can run the ball, they can move it different ways. Whereas Cleveland, they're probably going to move the ball through the air.
yeah,
It's going to be on the back of Jameis, and I think all these guys are going to see plenty of targets. Just who gets the touchdown are you really happy with, kind of a thing.
yeah.
David Njoku, though, I'm all about that one.
I am big Njoku guy.
And Disley, I don't want to be bringing him up here, but tight ends, it's what I do. I've got to throw it out there. 7 targets, 11 targets over the last 2 weeks.
It's something. I don't
I'd
know if
probably
it's
still do Taysom Hill, though, above him.
okay. Disley or Dalton Schultz.
Give me Disley. Just
Okay.
because it's Thursday. Just because of the Thursday.
All right.
Come on. When in doubt, Thursday out. I don't know. I read that on like a Lucky Charms box or something like that one time.
Or I've said it on the show plenty of times.
Oh yeah, maybe it was you. Maybe it was you. I couldn't
Yeah,
remember.
maybe.
That's right.
Yeah.
Folks, we got to get out of here. We can't thank you enough for hanging. Oh wait, who wins that game?
Chargers.
Chargers. Ooh. I want to believe in Winston, but yeah, I'll go Chargers with you. I like it.
Yeah.
We can't thank you enough, though, folks, listening, subscribing, liking, all those things you do. You have more questions for us, make sure you hit them in the comments for us. We'd love to get back to you with all the answers that we may or may not have. For me, though, I am at @too_much_Brian. You can find me there on X or on the Fantasy Football Advice Network, where I will be answering all the questions that you have for me. We've got another show coming tomorrow, so don't miss that as well. Brennan, tell the folks, where can they find you?
You can find me on X at FFA and BMulk, and then on the Fantasy Football Advice Network, answering all your redraft and dynasty questions there.
And candy questions. You guys have questions about Halloween candy? We got you. Clearly, we know what we're talking about here.
Yeah, or bringing Jimmy John's in the movies.
Well, okay. We're going to dig into that. But for now, we'll see y'all later.